Hello. Okay, so ladies in perimenopause, early perimenopause, you suspect maybe perimenopause, or you're even coming into full menopause, this is for you, okay? If you are really feeling like anything I eat, any workout I do, nothing helps, nothing changes, I'm not seeing the scale move, I'm not seeing results of my workouts anymore, what used to work is no longer working, this video is for you because I'm going to be sharing my top 3 tips for losing stubborn belly fat while preserving your lean muscle without cutting calories. We're not even cutting calories. We're going to be fueling our body. I'm going to teach you how to do this. And I'm going to just tell you a little story. I did all the low calories. I did all the cardio. I did all this stuff that never got me the result I wanted. I never got lean, toned. I was always chasing the scale coming down, when in fact, it wasn't about the scale weight for me. It was more about like how my body looked, the body composition of fat to muscle, kind of that ratio. And I talked to so many women, and that's kind of their same goal too. And so since I've cracked the code on that, and I've worked with hundreds of women to do the same thing, I want to tell you exactly what works and what you need to focus on here. So let's jump into it. The first thing you need to do is stop starting over every Monday, okay? Because more than likely, if you have been on this kind of like diet roller coaster, if you will, if you've been trying to lose fat, build muscle, preserve muscle, get leaner, you're starting over every Monday because you think you can't stick to your diet plan Monday through Friday and then kind of go off the rails on the weekends. So you have not found a sustainable system for nutrition. That is the biggest problem. And you think that lowering your calories during the week, like Monday, right, starting over Monday, will save you, or maybe like balance out your overdoing it, your French fries, whatever, on the weekends. And that's actually really false. We're missing a major component. And what happens when we end up doing this is we end up week over week in this yo-yo diet cycle. So if you feel like I start over every Monday, that's literally a yo-yo. I fall off, I start over. I fall off, I start over. And I did this for like multiple years, many years before I actually figured it out. And so if you're in this place where what happened, by Thursday or Friday, maybe you're like sick of your meal prep, you're tired, you're hungry, you're over it, give me a beer, give me a burger, whatever. If that's where you're at, then this system that you have right now is not working. So I really want you to just focus on stopping that system, because what you're doing now isn't getting you to your goals. Okay. So our first step is really just like this admission of like, okay, what I've been doing is not working. And instead, I want you to shift into what I call muscle-centric nutrition. This is where we eat for muscle and not for fat loss, weight loss, getting the scale to come down, losing. I can't have versus what can I have? What do I need to bring in? It's literally a mindset shift, okay? So when we do that, you will start losing, because the reason here, sorry about that, let me undo this. The reason here is you started losing muscle rapidly as soon as you hit age 30. Did you know that? Did you know that is the main reason why you feel like your metabolism has slowed? It's because you stopped growing, you stopped building muscle, because for your whole life, from the time you're about 25 to 30 years old, you were growing. You had more of a metabolism. It was easier probably to maintain weight, and not for everybody. I know everyone's got a unique story. Some people were larger as a kid or had trouble with their weight as a kid. I know that that's the case for a lot of people, but in general, for the most part, it's easier as a child, as a teenager, even in your 20s, to maintain a weight that you like versus 35 and up. And it's because of this muscle component. So we're going to stop starting over every Monday, and we're going to eat for muscle and not for fat loss. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Let's go to tip number 2. Train for muscle, okay? Because I'm going to put all of this together for you in step 3, but stick with me for a minute here. So when we train for muscle, we need to give our body this signal that muscle is important here. Let's keep that. And we also need to be giving our body the raw materials and stress, good stress, but still stress, which is the right workout on the body in the way to program that in. Program in, yes, muscle, we need that. Fat, we don't, okay? So the way we do that is with weight training, with progressive overload. That is the program, that is the input we need to give our bodies to say muscle's important, fat is not important. So body will change appropriately because your body is always adapting to stress. It's always adapting every day. How it's doing that really has you control more than you think. Okay. So if you are never training and you're just like doing a bunch of cardio or really light weights, like 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, this is essentially a form of movement and cardio. It is not training. Training is a different type of workout. And so many women are missing this. Okay. And if you did nothing but this, you could probably see the belly fat go down just by doing this, okay? But we're not just gonna talk about one thing, we're gonna talk about 3 things, and we're gonna tell you how to put this all together so you get like faster results in half the time, okay? So tip 3 is we are gonna give our body the raw materials to break the start over Monday cycle and actually rev your metabolism. So we're putting this all together. Not doing this is going to keep us in that starting over every Monday yo-yo. So if you skip this part, you're just going to be stuck. Okay. So we don't want to be stuck anymore. We're done with that. But protein is the key. So we have the training for the muscle, and then we have the raw materials, which is protein, which is the building blocks of your muscle to help you actually build it, right? You've probably already heard eat more protein. This is actually why, because we have to give the raw materials to the body to say muscle is important. You're not going to build muscle without protein. It won't happen. It won't happen, okay? So to do this properly, you need an app to log your protein. Like I use MyNet Diary. You could use Chronometer, MyFitnessPal. You could use whatever you want, and you need to log it. Okay, if you do nothing else, log your protein in the app to figure out how much you're actually eating, okay? And then you do need to have probably 4 protein-focused meals and snacks a day to be able to hit the amount of protein you need. The amount of protein you need is, and I'll write it down here, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if you're somebody who's 160 pounds and you're eating 130 grams of protein, that is not enough. That is not enough. Now, if you're somebody who is at your ideal weight, say you're like 140 pounds, whatever your ideal weight is, and you only eat the 110 grams of protein a couple days per week, but the other days you kind of nail it, you're probably going to be okay because you're at your maintenance, you're at your goal. You don't need to lose a bunch of weight, right? You have a little more leeway. However, while you're in this place of I want to lose stubborn fat, you need to be adhering to this particular thing. And unless you fix this part, we don't talk about anything else. With my clients, we don't talk about anything else. This is the thing you hit first. And if you can't do this, we don't move on. That's it. Okay. So I'm going to teach you how I actually do this for my clients. And I create a little guide for you. Okay. So if you found these tips helpful and you are ready to drop 10 inches in the next 30 days, I put together this little PDF guide. It's my step-by-step process. I'm going to send it right to you. I use it for my one-on-one clients to help them drop 10 inches, 12 inches in their first 30 days with us. And it's using custom macros and nutrition. And so it's my little macros guide. If you would like a copy of my macros guide, just comment the word checklist below and I will link it right over to you.